Rawr.
Alright, and we're back with more City Skylines. If you remember at the end of last episode, we got our first tram line in place, and also noticed a bit of a crime problem developing in our fair town. So I'm going to go ahead and knock this poor person's house down and throw a police station in to take care of that problem pretty quickly. It's all good to go, and we've now unlocked the university. Alright, so we need to figure out where we're going to splash this bad boy. I'm thinking, oh, maybe Garbage Island. As bad as that sounds. Maybe we'll add, or maybe we add an island here on this island. I'm thinking it needs to be somewhere that's kind of reasonably accessible, but also would allow for room to grow. And we do already have, shit, maybe we'll slap it here along one of the tram lines, so it's still easily accessible for students who do not have cars. Yeah, 75,000 big ones. There it is. We have our first university plot. And boy, oh boy, do we have some demand for some glorious industry. So what we're going to do is go ahead and actually slap some office space down in this kind of parkette we've created here, just to see how it goes. Do these guys have heat? Yes, they do. They have heat, they have water, everything they could ever need. So we'll see how this goes and how it addresses our demand. So far, it looks so good. They're certainly buying into it. How are we doing education-wise, actually? University's fine. Elementary school is not looking great. Yeah, we'll add one down with our new high-density residential to service those folks. The high school also could be bolstered. We'll add it on the coast road. There we go. We're on the edge of public transit. But yeah, that should be okay. Alright, good. So that's all taken care of. And let's see. Alright, so our office guys are doing pretty well, but we still have a pretty strong demand for industry. So we'll add another side of the road and the waterfront here. But we're going to look a bit more at our residential demand as well that we have again here. And create another zone for our high density. Now, I know these zones aren't like the prettiest in the world. I actually would like to make them look a lot better. But for now, I think they'll do. In this area, or we can pick maybe this island to make something very, very pretty. Whereas this is more utilitarian, like working class kind of mixed residential. Because you can see we have like the high capacity road planning on this side. And a little bit of like funny roundabouts around rocks and stuff here, but not a lot of it. Whereas this island we can really go hog wild with the parks and everything else and make it look really nice. Especially because it won't be connected to either Garbage Island on the right here or Industrial Island on the left. But we'll see how it plays out. So let's go ahead and go back to our heating pipes because we need to hook this up. Which actually it's pretty close. It's not the most efficient use, but it'll do. And let's go back to our high density. Boosh, 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 boosh. That should be going quite well. And we still have more. We just can't satiate that industrial need. So we're going to keep going and doing this. Now, I know originally we said this was going to be a commercial zone. So we are going to service that with some high density. And eventually we'll figure it out. I get the impression that eventually we might actually end up moving the residential out of one of these areas and building that to be more commercial, because it has easier highway access and not a lot of public transport infrastructure, at least not right now, which would better serve commercial than residential. But we'll see how it is. So this is going pretty well. How are we doing on happiness? Is good. Our income is phenomenal. We can actually look at, let's just go ahead and pay off all of our loans. So those are all good to go. We still have 30,000 big ones in the bank. So let's look at some of these special buildings, especially for snow. We haven't really looked at any of these yet. 5 geothermals to get the ice arena. Fill 1 snow dump. We haven't done that yet. We can get a ski resort. That'd be pretty good. Snow Castle Restaurant. Oh, working our way there. A spa. We're almost halfway. We're gonna have to do the spa once we unlock it there. It's all about snow being collected. Sleigh rides. What's the requirement here? Use only boiler stations for heating. I wonder if we shut down. If we go a little bit cheeky here and shut down the geothermal for a little bit, if that would actually, can I even turn it off? Off. Does that unlock? Use only boiler stations for heating? No, it doesn't. Okay. Let's go ahead and turn that one back on before everyone freezes to death. I was hoping we'd be able to sneak it past the computer there, but it seems to not be the case. An igloo hotel. Interesting. Build a snow castle restaurant. We get the igloo hotel. Use only geothermal. Whoops. Oh, wait, the Christmas tree. We can't afford it yet anyway. I shouldn't get grandiose ideas of deleting things only to bring them back when I'm not paying close attention. Handles the deceased to build the... Okay, it says the fusion power plant. Oh yeah, so we should go back to the Great Works idea. So when you get to the final tier of this, you can build Great Works. Theater of Wonders, Sea and Skyscraper, the Museum of Modern Art, stadiums, and the Cathedral of Plentitude. So depending on what other buildings from these trees that we build will help unlock things later, I usually tend to pick these things based on how pretty they are, rather than unlocking things later, but we can definitely take a look into that as time goes on. What is this one here? Tourism and leisure. We can also do a tourism focus, which we haven't really done, but we can definitely take a look into. We can build a luxury hotel if we built an airport. We can make a zoo if we have a fishing pier, things of that nature. So we'll look in that. We also have parks, like a whole host of parks and stuff that we can build that we haven't really looked at all yet, be it plazas or tourism and leisure-based parks. Fishing tours, which seems kind of out of place for a winter town, but an ice hockey rink sounds like exactly what we need. So we're going to pop this. Oh, we're getting low on power. We'll deal with that in a minute. We are going to put an ice hockey rink down right in the middle of our high-density residential to make all these guys happy. But we're quickly going to shift gears here to our power needs. Okay, yeah, we can build a prison. We don't need to build a prison yet, though. Oil power plant. Guess what, buddy? Guess what? You're going to come online and fix a bunch of my woes. Boom. Okay. This should... Yeah, there we go. Nice big surplus of power now. Okay, parks, and what else have we got here? Riding stable, again, in the winter doesn't really fit very well. A marina, not so much. We have the ice hockey rink we just built, a fishing pier. What else have we got? Fishing tours. Ooh, a snowmobile track. Alright. Oh, what about... Okay, we don't have quite enough room on this island. I was thinking about making like a pleasure island, because we got that stop, right? If we go to the world... Okay, so this is actually going to be 2 zones. It's going to take up to pick that one up. Maybe on Garbage Island... Do I dare? Do I put a tourist attraction on Garbage Island? Is that just the worst idea in history? Or is it the best idea? No. We'll put it down with the ice hockey rink, because that seems like a pretty fun afternoon. Boom. There we go. Ice hockey rink and snowmobile track. Back to back to back. We'll actually flank it with some other nice parks, because we have a tremendous amount of money, and why not? So what's better after you're done snowmobiling than going for some cross-country skiing? And then a long night after the hockey, when your team's won, you can have a nice little fiery night there. We're actually going to inadvertently make a ton of very expensive condos here based on my park placement. Let's see, we should actually look at upgrading some of the stuff at other parks. Snowman Park. Upon entry to the city, you're treated to a snowman park. I don't really care about property values for the commercial side, at least not yet. We do care about some of these residential, though, because these are pretty low. Like, this is all pretty, like, the lowest possible, right? So we should make it a little bit nicer by adding some of this stuff in. A ski lodge doesn't really fit unless we can... Oh, yeah, there's no road, so we can't plop anything until we build an actual road over here. But yeah, a lot of these parks don't really fit the they fit the motif, I guess, but it seems kind of strange. Like a nice big sledding hill. I don't know. We'll look into it over time. I don't want to demolish too many of these houses and stuff either. I do, however, want to start planning out Pleasure Island, shall we call it, which is going to be this island of excess and amazemitude. No, just generally good times. It's got a lot of straight roads, apparently. We may go up and end up changing that later, but I think for now that'll be okay. Again, it's not going to be an island of efficiency. It's supposed to be an island of just like relaxing and pretty and such. So yeah, so let's see. Let's figure out how we want to hook all this together. The highway is quite a ways away for these guys. I'm thinking maybe we're going to have to make them their own highway connection. I don't know where yet, but it's going to happen. For now, though, we're just going to connect them straight across the river. That causeway can always be changed if it needs to. I don't anticipate it being a very high traffic kind of road, but I think it'll be okay. Oh, it looks like we have more demand for industrial, so let's put some more polluting industrial down over here, because no one wants to build their office next to the power plant or dumps. There we go. That should get that going a bit more without being too polluty. Okay. So things are going pretty well. We have the basic road loop built for our pleasure island. We are going to do parks galore in here as time goes on. We'll probably also connect it actually to Garbage Island. My thought process being that they'll have their own garbage service and their own snow service through here. Which means we should probably also consider putting a snow dump. We can put the road maintenance. I think Garbage Island is going to turn into like weird public services island that we don't normally care about. But road maintenance is definitely going to be a thing. Now, of course, we have the eternal question. Is it better to be money-wise by building $2,100 worth of power lines-ish, or prettier by spending $6,000 and giving them their own wind turbine, which is what we've done, because why not? We'll connect. There we go. Now the snow dump is heated. I don't think it really needed to be necessarily, but what are you going to do? So our causeway is hooked up here. These guys are going to have power and garbage and snowplow from their own private connection point here. Maybe we'll put some real high-end... Oh yeah, we'll put some real high-end commercial. Kind of like a swath across it here, which we can always delete later if it turns out to be a terrible idea. But I feel like it's going to be, for those of you who are in Toronto, a very Yorkville kind of attitude in this place. And we'll connect it back up there. Again, maybe not the most efficient, but I think it's gonna be good. We have big plans for this island. Oh, we didn't quite get that. There we go. And bish bash bosh. We'll get a little more of the heating going here. Oh no. I done goofed. Okay, that should cover all the commercial there. And now we want to start putting our curvy roads in. So maybe we'll do a couple different quadrants. So actually I'll have a straight run. And then inside here we're going to have just the curviest, turviest roads you can possibly imagine. And by that I mean a slight serpentine, apparently. The idea is we're going to want some like nice mansions and stuff in here, but we also don't want it to be too... Like, you should take your time driving through these neighborhoods. These are the neighborhoods that have like the full-size Snickers at Halloween and like the really nice Christmas lights. Like the ones where you just drive by and you can hear kids screaming like, oh my goodness, there is the Santa Claus. How have we not been here before? And the parents who are just absolutely regretting every decision they've made leading up to that point. Of having children screaming in their ear. And then on this one, maybe we'll do a nice Y. Oops, nice Y breakout. Again, it's not about efficiency, it's about making things that look interesting from above. Okay, heat pipes. Boom, boom, boom. Whereas heat piping here is about efficiency because no one can see underground, so it doesn't matter if it's not pretty as long as it works. Okay, so we have our requirement now for commercial small stores and cozy boutiques versus commercial buildings, department stores, and supermarkets. We're gonna have a good mix here. So on the outer rim, we're gonna have the department stores and the supermarkets. Actually, on the whole outer ring road is gonna consist of that. Then we're going to have the smaller, cozier boutiques inside because they don't need as much space. And they can be more of like an intimate atmosphere. And then we'll have another high density slop here. And now we're going to park this place up because we want it to be like high value. And also, I mean, when you're shopping, your kids don't enjoy shopping necessarily, right? They don't want to be there all the time. They want to be chilling out with their friends. So we're going to add some parks and some reasons to, to bring your school, trip here, or to find a different reason to be there other than just rampant consumerism. Get the power hooked up. That is cooking along quite nicely. We've really killed our commercial demand. But the other good news about that is on this side of the house, we can look at getting more office space put in here. And we're going to start looking at making some roads, in this case, underneath the highway, I think. So I want straight. And then we're going to go down to make a tunnel. And then back up, and then connect in. So that'll be that road there, which is then going to branch off to create a straight line here. And it's going to have its own cheat T-junction. I also realize now I'm not using the straight roads tool anymore. Whoops. Yes, no one cares about buying new land. It's okay, game. So one thing I will say about this game is it's very aggressive in its use of, hey, you may have missed this or missed that, which I guess is fair because there is a lot going on in this game, especially if your only exposure to City Sims has been the more recent SimCity, which was very, very light in that department. So the game does do a good job at keeping you aware of kind of what's going on, but at the same time, it can be a bit excessive in terms of either Twitter or Tweeter or whatever they call it in this, or just the pop-ups like, hey, you have a new building you can use. Hey, 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 hey. So, I get it, but right now we're not really looking at that. Like, for instance, it's not warning me about the power issue that we have here in that there is no power, but it had no problem letting me know, hey, there's a ton of other things you could be doing in this kind of zone. But yeah, the good news is that's now hooked up. We got some more commercial. It's going to push our industrial demand down. We are going to have to start figuring out how we're going to want to deal with workers. Skilled versus unskilled, and then the disparity in property value between those groups, which this will help with. In retrospect, we may have wanted to put the university over here. Oh well, what are you going to do? I like this select tool a lot, but it is a little bit of a strange one. There we go. That was a weird noise too. I don't know if that came through on the microphone or not, but there was a strange like drilling noise just now. There we go. So now this section should start to develop slowly over time. Hopefully the power issue doesn't become too much of a problem. And yeah, okay, so let's go back to our park setter. A skating rink sounds like exactly what you want to have on this corner. A fire pit. Oh, I was hoping it was going to fit. It won't fit on that side of the road, that's okay. Curling, of course, always. Winter sports. A ski lodge right on the edge of the forest here, even though there's no ski hill. A tobogganing hill, of course, is mandatory. What other parks do we have here? Snowman Park. You got it. And last but most certainly not least, cross-country skiing. Yep, gotta get that exercise in. So there we go. We've got quite the setup on this island once power gets there and development starts getting there. Traffic on this bridge is heavier than I expected it to be. I guess it makes sense because of the commercial being developed there, and we have residents from this side of the street coming across. We may want to look at building a relief bridge, which we'll do there. We may upgrade these bridges. Yeah, we should do one-way bridges. And then that's two-way. And hopefully this remains the correct way. Yeah. Okay, there we go. So we got the in bridge and we got the out bridge, and this should help relieve some of the traffic on this intersection. I didn't think about that when I put the commercial here, is the commercial's got to get its stuff from somewhere. So in this case, it looks like this bridge is being filled with a lot of commercial vehicles bringing products in from... where? Yeah, from the highway, from the roundabout in a very kind of odd way. So you will eventually want to look at a separate highway access point. We may have to buy this section here to gain control. Actually, yeah, we're going to buy this chunk of land because we get us proper highway access. We're going to buy this half of the island. Oof. Okay, so we have 4. I think we can get 4 more, or is it 2 more? Not sure. So we have this is okay for... Actually, we'll stick with this for now. But it does give us access to the highway system, which we wanted. So we may end up doing some kind of spur line from here, and then like a relief line coming in. But for now, I think this is okay. Wow, that slowed time right down. But yeah, so I think we'll end it here for today. Things are going pretty well. We have a little bit of a lack of power in the fancy land, just because we haven't actually built any power to them yet. Because we still have these big gaps in the middle of... Actually, I guess we can put some services in. They should probably have a fire hall. But if we can strategically place that fire hall to connect power, I mean, that's just win-win for everybody, right? So that should link these together. And then if we want to put a clinic in, or cemetery. We may have to put a cemetery in, but if we put a clinic in for... Oh, what is this? A sauna. Definitely gonna need a sauna. Space already occupied. And that should also... Okay, that gets us a bit closer. Now if we put just a general clinic... There we go. So you can sometimes use services to bridge power, which is kind of a cheaty way to do it. That is one thing I will say about SimCity, is that it's got a nicer power system running through the roads. Anyway, we're getting off topic. Thank you very much for joining me, and we'll see you next time.